All right, so I see music as just the gift I was granted with. I know I ain't earned it. I was just challenged to handle it with great care. So I got to do right with it. Go through some dark days and still create light with it, and I'll be all right with it as long as I fight with it. And never sell my soul for no gold or a nice fitted. And never think I'm free because I can afford to be chained up. I know it's symbolic for the system locking our brains up. So how have I came up? If my people still low? And the stuff that you throw away is the stuff that we steal for. And the stuff that you thrift store is the stuff that we kill for. So how have I got rich? If my family's still broke. So no, you can't teach to them because you'll never teach them right. I know you can't preach to them because they'll never see the light. As long as they see you first, as long as they see you first, as long as they think we last, as long as they think you first. So we gonna do it because we got the will. Yeah. Try to stop it. Yeah, they probably will. But when they can't stop it, they'll just stop and stare amazed at how we do it with great care. Listen, if you could see, hear, smell, taste, and feel, then your body works. And if your body works, you have everything you need to win. Peace, family. I'm Yusha Assad, artist, speaker, and coach, welcoming you to another drop of truth, discipline, and intentional alignment. This is Working and Winning with Great Care, where we say we don't just strive to do great things, we do all things with great care, purpose, and intention. Listen, the goal ain't just to win, the goal is to win, right? And so every week, y'all, I'm going to be pulling up to share what I'm learning, what I'm practicing, and what I'm challenging myself and you to walk out in real life. This ain't performance. This is practice. This is presence. And this is how we build what God intended for us. So wherever you are right now, your job, your car, on a walk, wherever you are, tap in. Let's work and win with great care. Let's get to it. I am a recording artist, motivational speaker, master certified professional coach, and I do a lot of different things. I got to this place because I was somehow willing to believe that I could create a future that hadn't been seen yet.
This is dope, though. I love it, bro.
Right? When you hear all of the different things that I do, I've been told in my life, you do too much. And I'm glad to say that I did not follow those thoughts and allow that to hinder me from what I do. God gave me 5 things: speaking, teaching, coaching, training, and performing. So y'all, this is actually episode 2 of the first season of Working and Winning with Great Care. Today's topic is, it ain't what you do, it's how you do it. What does it mean to live with great care? This is a follow-up to last week's conversation where we talked about working and winning and what that really means. And so let's do a quick recap and catch up for that, right? So last week we talked about working and winning is essentially an affirmation. It's rooted in gratitude, purpose, and service, right? Its simple yet powerful essence is rooted in the idea that if we can see, hear, smell, taste, and feel, then our body works. And if our body works, then we have everything we need physically, right, to influence the day. So purposefully now, the question is, what are we going to do with that opportunity, right? What are we going to do with that energy? And our choice, if we're truly working and winning, our choice should be to improve the quality of our lives and the quality of someone else's life. Ultimately, the working and winning belief is that just by simply acknowledging and being grateful for life is the win, right? To be here is the win. So the real question is, what is the work? And that is using that life energy to express ourselves in a way that helps others. And so through this work, we find ourselves, we find our gifts, we find our purpose, we find fulfillment, and ultimately we find our greatest level of success, right? So that was last week. Now back to this week. What does it mean to live with great care, right? With great care is a mantra turned movement, turned 3-series album, trilogy, and clothing line, right? And I got the clothing line on today. I don't know if y'all can see with great care. But for those of you who have been following my music, if you think it's just music, right, you'll know that I have a project called With Great Care, 3 projects called With Great Care, The Heart, The Struggle, and The Dream, which really started as one project, The Hope, the Heart, The Struggle, and The Dream, that we split out across 3 EPs. But really, it was a way to spread this mantra and this statement. Now, the full statement is, we don't strive to do great things. We do all things with great care, purpose, and intention. And we established this with 3 principles that we kind of built it on. So the 3 principles are love and care, and we put those together. So love and care, excellence, and service. And we eventually added on the ideas of purpose and intention, because how could you not, right? And so the principles again are love and care, excellence, service, purpose, and intention. And then to help us to be rooted and mindful in whatever space we were in, we asked ourselves three questions. And those questions are, what are you doing? Uh, what are you doing? Why are we doing it? And then how can we do it in a way in which is beneficial for someone other than ourselves, right? Essentially, whenever we do a thing, do it with love and care in an excellent way that helps others. All right. And then make it our intention to do it with such a purpose that it fulfills that moment. Right. And maybe it's just for that moment, but if it is, make that moment count. Right. So now that I've told you what with great care means, we're going to come back to those principles and those questions later. I'm going to define those and kind of expand them. But right now, I want to talk about why it's important, right? Yusha, why? Why do we want to live with great care? Why is this an important thing, right? So for an individual, right, a company or a creative group, and I want to, while y'all are here with this live, I want to tell y'all how y'all can engage with me, right? So whether you're on Instagram, you're on YouTube, or you're on Facebook, you can engage by just posting a comment, right? If you hear something good, you can repost that. You can say something. You can follow up. I will be watching these comments, right? So back to the talk for today. Why is it important to live with great care? For an individual, a company, a creative group, or a school, doing things with great care is how we gain truly authentic, sustainable, exponential growth and support. Let me say that again. This is how we, living with great care, is how we truly gain authentic, sustainable, exponential growth and support, right? When we prove that we are willing to help others by building something excellent that gently considers them, that gently improves their life, then those people will support us. And not only will they support us, but they will bring more people to us. And I want to give y'all an example. So in 2014, I wanted to get in the habit of running, right? Not only to lose weight and to get in the best shape of my life, but really just to optimize, right? I got a great friend, Kariga Bailey. We used to dap up by grabbing each other by the forearm like this, right? We grab each other by the forearm. And what we did, Kariga would say optimal and I would say optimize, right? In this particular era of our lives, we were just trying to give ourselves the best opportunity to live optimally. And so part of that for me was basketball and running, right? So in my mid to late 20s, I didn't really know much about the mechanics of running because the community that I came from, typically whatever shoes I played ball in was the exact same shoes that I ran in, right? And so I wanted to get into running, but I wasn't super enthused because one, I ain't have no shoes. And then two, because I always wore basketball shoes to run in, I had shin splits, right? So I want to get into running, but I don't really have the tools and the knowledge of how to do it without hurting myself. So Kariga and I got a friend named Tristan Lewis. Tristan invites me to go running with him at the Nike Run Club, connected to the Nike store down in Georgetown. And so when we get there, of course, I show up not looking like a runner. I have on basketball shoes, some Kobe's, I believe, some long basketball shorts and a white T-shirt. And so, of course, I look very out of place, right? But when I walked in, a Nike store associate approaches me and asked if I was there to run. And once I confirmed, they asked me if I wanted some shoes. And so, of course, I'm like, nah, I'm not here to buy any shoes today. I just want to run. And their response was, no need to buy shoes. We give shoes to our runners. And I'm confused. I'm like, wait, what? Y'all give shoes to the runners? They're like, yeah, we give shoes to our runners who need them. And then you can give them back when you're finished today. And of course, I don't believe that they're just going to do this, right? So I'm like, well, is there a rental fee? Like, do I got to pay a rental fee? And the associate responded to me. They said, no rental fee at all. We just want to see you win, right? No rental fee at all. We just want to see you win. So they ended up measuring my foot, the length and width of my foot. They talked with me about how I run, whether I was flat footed or not. They talked to me about the style of shoe that may best be fit for my running style. And then they also gave me some tips on how to land and push off to kind of alleviate the pain of those shin splits. And so the shoe that they suggested that I wear is the Nike Air Zoom, right? They offered these to me. They also offered me a watch that I could use to track my miles, my speed, and my heart rate. Um, and then post running, they had it set up. They had free water. They did some stretching with you, and then they provided some opportunity for networking. And so I ran, right? I ran with them. I did, pretty decent. It was a 4-mile run. I did pretty decent. I'm very competitive, so there's nowhere I'm going to run out and not push myself hard. And then when I got back, I definitely took advantage of the water and the stretching, and I stayed around to talk to some of the associates. What I want y'all to know is like, listen, after doing all this for me, they didn't ask for an email or telephone number. They didn't ask me to buy anything. They didn't even offer me a discount, right? I ran with them a number of times that summer, and eventually at the end of the summer, I bought my own pair of running shoes, and I bought the shoes that they had been giving me to run in because they were good for my feet, the Nike Air Zooms. Since then, I have not bought Nike. Since then, I've only bought Nike running shoes and Nike basketball shoes and Nike run gear, right? I don't buy shoes every week. I don't buy shoes every month. But whenever I need athletic gear, I go to Nike first, right? Though Nike is in the business of selling athletic gear, they committed themselves to the business of helping others. One, believe they could do it, and by helping them do it, right? Hence, Nike's Just Do It. They committed themselves to the business of helping others believe they could do it and then doing it. And for their service, care, and excellence, I have become a 10-year loyal supporter. Now, why am I telling y'all this story? This whole experience is a great example of what we call the divine law of compensation, all right? The divine law of compensation, you got to understand Nike gave freely with intention, with service, with excellence. And for their gift, they gained a loyal supporter, right? What I want you to know is when we support from the right spirit, we invite support from the right spirit, right? When we give and support from the right spirit, we invite support from the right spirit. And that's just not good customer service, y'all. That's also a spiritual law, right? The divine law of compensation states that what you put out into the world, especially when it's done with great care, will return to you multiplied, right? Say that again. What you put out in the world, the divine law of compensation states that what you put out into the world, when done with great care, love, and intention, will return to you multiplied. Now, one thing I want to note for you is that there's a statement that I love that says, God is the one who created creation and then caused it to repeat. God is the one who created creation and caused it to repeat. So when I'm giving you this divine law of compensation, know that the divine law of compensation is also connected to reciprocity, right? The law teaches that the energy, effort, and intention we give always comes back. Always. Maybe not from the same place, but always right on time. Y'all know the story, right? He may not come when you want him, but he's always right on time, right? The law teaches us that the energy, effort, and attention we give always comes back, even if not from the same place. It comes back right on time. And the essence of this is spiritual reciprocity, right? Every action has a return, every seed, every word, every deed produces fruit. And so give what you want to grow. Y'all hear me? Give what you want to grow. Now, back to what I said about God saying, I created creation and caused it to repeat, right? This is evidence and proof of this, that God created the earth. He created the woman. He created the mind, right? And so what we know is the earth is a creation, and the exact same thing that happens to the earth happens to the woman, right? The exact same thing that happens to the woman happens to the mind. If I plant a seed in the earth, right, I don't just get back that seed, I get it back multiplied, right? The seed, the earth turns the seed into something greater. If I put an apple seed into the ground, it grows an apple tree. That apple tree produces approximately 400 apples per season over the course of its life. And then each apple is somewhere between 2 to 5 seeds, right? And so he created this creation and then caused it to repeat. Likewise, if I put a seed in a woman, I don't get back a seed. I get back a child who may produce more children, right? And create my lineage. The same thing with the mind. If you put a seed into the mind, y'all know what we do. We overthink, we ruminate, we come up with more ideas. And so in this, God has given us the example of how things in nature are replicated and produce themselves. And so the universe is the exact same way. When we put good energy into the world, right? The divine law of compensation is a little different than reciprocity, right? Reciprocity is really based off the law of cause and effect, right? It says, you give, you reap what you sow, right? Whatever you put in, you get back. But the divine law of compensation goes a step further and says it's not just you getting back what you put in, you're getting it back multiplied. And we have evidence of that because the earth teaches us that. The woman's womb teaches us that. The mind teaches us that. So the universe says, I'm going to take what you got and I'm going to give it back. Now, let me give you more context for this, right? People can have all types of opinions about what Nike was doing, right? One can say that Nike was wasting their time. They could also say that Nike was throwing away money, giving away shoes for this run program, right? Breaking down these shoes. They could say that Nike was missing amazing opportunities to collect data and get more customer leads. On the other side, or just straight out missing sales, right? On the other side, they could say, no, Nike was just doing good business. They weren't thinking about the divine law of compensation, right? Was it good business? Yes, of course. But it wasn't just good business. It was law. Now, y'all know I like to connect natural law to spirituality. So let's connect it to the spirit. Let's go to the scriptural references. So the first one, we're going to go to the Bible in Luke chapter 6, verse 38, right? These are the words of Jesus, the red letters. Luke chapter 6, verse 38, the Bible says, it tells us, give, and it shall be given unto you, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, shall men give into your bosom. For the same measure that ye give, it shall be measured again to you. All right. This is Luke chapter 6, verse 38. Again, it says, give, and it shall be given unto you, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, shall men give into your bosom. Sorry. So we're speaking to this divine law of compensation, speaking to the natural law. This is scripture telling us natural law. Now, this verse is the divine law of compensation in action, right? It emphasizes that what you give, it emphasizes that not just what you give, but the spirit and measure in which you give it, pressed down, shaking together, running over. So it's telling you that it's suggesting that abundance flows from abundant care. Abundance flows from abundant care. So it's not just about what you give, it's the spirit in which you give it. Now, if I take you to the Holy Quran, Surah 93, ayats 7 and 8, or, for those of you who don't understand that language, chapter 99, verses 7 and 8 says, so whoever does a atom's weight of good will see it. And whoever does an atom's weight of evil will see it. Right? Let's say that again. Whoever does an atom's weight of good will see it. It will return to them. It will come back to them. And then whoever does an atom's weight of evil will see it. It will return to them. It will come back to them. Right? So this is, once again, scripture, right? Whether it be Quran or Bible, speaking to us about the natural law. This tells us that even the smallest act, y'all, done with sincerity, will not be overlooked. This reminds us that living with great care means knowing that your efforts, even if unseen by people, are always seen by God and will be returned to you, right? So good or bad. And that's encouraging us to do the good, right? So in conclusion, I want to leave you out with this on this one. In conclusion, with great care is a mantra, movement, and a lifestyle engaging us to treat all things, all people, all opportunities, and ourselves with love, providing excellent service with intention and purpose. When we live like this, we set ourselves up for a beautiful life, getting back essentially what we put in multiplied. Now, note one thing, and I want to make this an important note. This is not about giving to others just to get a return from them. No, right? If we start operating with certain people in a certain type of way in order to get those specific people to behave, perform, or show up for us in a certain type of way, then we might as well get a contract signed, right? Or admit that we are trying to manipulate them. We have to be clear that they're going to be the people, institutions, communities, organizations that we give to may never be able to give back to us what we gave to them. And to have an expectation of that is not really paying attention to what the law says, right? As a matter of fact, if those organizations, people, communities, etc., if they were able to give it back to us, they wouldn't have asked us for it. If they had it, they wouldn't have needed it from us. So it is very clear. Hey, Latoya, thank you for the love. Ms. Landry, it is very clear that the goal here is not to give for a return. The goal is to give because you have it, because God has given it to you. Blessed is the one who gives of what's been given to them. There's another statement I love that says, never can a man have righteousness unless he's willing to give up the things that he loves. So we all have things to give. And when we have abundance and we give from that abundance, then the universe returns to us in abundance. Here's a statement I love. It says, who will loan to God a beautiful loan so that he may multiply it so that he may multiply it for him many times over. I'll say that again clearly. Who will loan to God a beautiful loan so that he may multiply it and return it to him many times over? Yeah, what is this loan? Right? We talking about loaning God alone. God being the creator and sustainer of all things from which we get all of our help and source. We can't loan or give God anything. He don't need anything. Right? So what is this saying? This is a powerful expression of the divine law of compensation, stating that whoever gives charity, good deeds, acts of sincere intention to support God's creation, that this is the offering, that this offering of excellent purposeful work is the loan to the creation of God. So God is not saying give me a loan. He's saying loan the things that I've given you to advance my people, to advance my community, to advance each other. Lend the gifts and talents that you have. And when you do that, when you loan my creation a beautiful loan, then I have promised you a return 10 times over. And so this is the promise. So y'all often hear me say the promise is here and it's coming. This is what I'm speaking of. I'm not speaking of an esoteric thing. I'm telling you, we are the establishers of the promise that is for us because God has already set up this thing, right? So he says, whatever you pour into, whatever you loan my people of goodwill, of good intention, there's a promise of return to you. All right. Linnea says, Corinthians, the greatest of these is charity. And so living with great care is essentially establishing this idea, right? That we're going to give with the expectation that it's with God, not with the people we gave it to, is with God, right? So whatever you give materially, emotionally, or spiritually is not lost. It is an investment and it is guaranteed return. Now you might be saying, Saint Mike, what up, brother? So you might be saying, okay, Yusha, I want to proactively live with great care. I hear you talking, but this is esoteric. What does it look like on a day to day? And here's the answer, right? The day to day of how to live with great care is wrapped up in the definition of the principles that I gave you earlier. So let's revisit those principles again. It was love and care, and we put those together, but love and care, service, excellence, power, and purpose. So let's go over those definitions and talk about how they apply. First one is love. I remember the Lauryn Hill album back in the day. So what do you think love is, right? And I feel like we all have our different definitions of love, but I want to read the technical definition of love, right? Love is, by definition, an intense feeling of deep affection. An affection is identified or defined as a gentle feeling of fondness or likeness. So we can then interpret that love is an intense feeling of gentleness. When you love something, you're gentle with it. When you love a person, you're gentle with them, right? Now, care, the definition of care is a serious attention or consideration applied to doing something correctly to avoid damage or risk. To avoid damage or risk. So it's a consideration to doing something correctly to avoid damage or risk. Note, this is not asking us to be perfect. This is asking us for deep consideration. No matter how good our intentions are, impact ain't going to always be aligned with intention, but it's about how deeply that we consider the work we did, how deeply that we consider others and the outcome that it would have on others. All right, next definition, excellence. Excellence is the quality of being outstanding or extremely good. Meaning, y'all, we are not just doing what we're doing to be acceptable. We're not just doing it to get a grade. We're not just doing it to get paid. Excellence says we are doing it to be our best, to give our best, and to become better at it. There's a line in a song that I wrote called Breathe, where I say, if you do anything, make sure you do it right. Get better at that if you're going to do it twice, right? That's the essence of with great care. If we do anything, it's not just to do it. The goal is to do it right and to do it at the level, the highest level at which we know, right? And then if we're going to do it again, then make sure that the second time we do it was better than the first. Let's get to service. Service, and I'm going to give it to you as a noun and a verb. Service as a noun states that as a noun, it is an action. It is the action of helping or doing work for someone. And as a verb, it is to perform routine maintenance or repair work. So catch that, routine maintenance or repair work, right? To be in service to others is to routinely provide maintenance and repair. I help fix things that are broken. I help maintain things. And then I want to offer, if we're truly giving true service, then we're also cultivating growth. Intention is simple, right? The definition is a aim or a plan. So this is telling us to set an intention for everything we do, right? And set that intention to grow that thing. And then purpose. Purpose is the reason for which something is done or created or for which it exists. And so this is telling us that we should know the purpose of things and the purpose of why we do things, right? Now I'm a synthesizer. So as a synthesizer, I know how to like process all of this stuff and put it into one statement. And so if I had to process all of this and put it into one statement, I would say to live with great care, we have to know our purpose. We have to know the purpose of our gifts. We have to work to make our gifts of outstanding quality, of excellence. Then we have to routinely offer our gifts with gentle consideration of the receiver to maintain, repair, and grow the receiver only for the aim of contributing goodness to the world. Let me get that to y'all again, right? To live with great care is to know your purpose and the purpose of your gifts. And the reason why it's important to know the purpose of your gifts, the late Miles Monroe says that if you don't know the purpose of something, you will abuse it. And he breaks down the word abuse. What is abuse? He says abuse is abnormal use. When do you abnormally use a thing? When you don't know what it's supposed to be used for. And so the purpose, the reason why we must know the purpose of our gifts is so that we use them correctly. We use them for the reason the Creator gave them to us for. So we must know our purpose, know the purpose of our gifts, and then work to make our gifts of outstanding quality, right? Perfect our gifts. And then give our gifts routinely with gentle consideration of the people that we're given to maintain, repair, and grow them. And when I say gentle consideration of the people I'm giving to, that means without judgment, without you need to get your shit together attitude. That ain't the attitude that's connected to it. It's gentle, knowing that ultimately you're just planting a seed in these people. You're just planting a seed in them. And it's God's responsibility to grow them. And he can use the seed that you planted, but it's his responsibility to grow them. And so we want to be gentle with people, right? And why? For the aim of contributing goodness to the world. So in translation, Yusha, how do I treat someone with great care? Be gentle with them. All right. When you talk to somebody, give them our attention and consideration. When we speak to them, look them in the eye. Quiet the noise and pay attention to folks. Offer them the best of what we have to give. And then make this our regular behavior, right? And do it just because we have time to give. Yusha, how do we live with great care in our business practices? Well, first, we want to perfect our products and our services. And then we want to offer them in the most outstanding way, taking consideration for the needs, wants, and challenges of our customers and our partners. Be gentle with our business relationships. Man, I do such and such, man. It ain't personal, it's business. Man, it's personal and business all the time. Because whether it's business or personal, you still putting energy in the universe that you're going to get back. So be gentle with our business partners. Aim to be in integrity with our commitments and our agreements. Write stuff down, y'all. Take notes. Follow up. Show personal concern for the people that you do business with. They are human beings. And then assume good intentions. Assume good intentions of people, right? Everybody's out here trying to protect something. So most people want to do good and don't know how. When you know better, you do better. So assume good intentions. How do we live with great care with ourselves, Yush? Let's go back to that service point. What was service, right? Service was something that routine maintenance. And so being great care with yourself means routinely showing appreciation and consideration for ourselves, right? Being gentle with ourselves, maintaining ourselves, y'all. Let's look outstanding. Let's smell outstanding. Y'all know I'm doing a cologne. Let's smell outstanding. I got the cologne reviews on deck. I can tell you exactly what scent you need to go pick up. Smell outstanding. Eat outstanding, right? Eat the food that considers our body. You hear that? Eat the food that considers our body. Be outstanding, right? And all for the aim of optimizing the time that God has given us. Simply for the aim of that, right? Not to look good for other people, not to be vain, not to simply to optimize the body, the tool, the resource that God gave us. Surely the greatest gratitude we can give to God, the greatest thankfulness we can give to God for our bodies is to take care of it properly. Here's a statement: give to our bodies and our bodies will give back to us, right? Here we see that replicated process again, right? You put into the earth, it gives you back. You put into a woman, it gives you back multiplied. You put into the mind, it gives you back multiplied. Put food of good energy into your body, it gives you back energy multiplied, right? Put the opposite in your body, you get back sickness, you get back dis-ease. So that's how we live with great care with our own bodies. Y'all, when we first started this mantra and movement, we weren't perfectly living with great care, purpose, and intention. I mean, we're not really doing it perfectly now, right? But much like then, we knew the principles and we knew that we wanted to live with great care. We set our intention to do it. And we believe that this heart posture, this way of thinking, this way of being, this mantra, this thought has been and will be a catalyst for social improvement in our world. So when I put out the music with great care, it was to promote this thought, right? When I put out the clothing line with great care, right? It's not just to make money on the clothing line, it was to spread a thought. How do you treat each other with great care, right? How do we show up with great care? How do we push this identity that I'm a person who strives to live with great care, right? Now, note to add, it is easy to be gentle, considerate, outstanding, and helpful when things are going right for us and we are pleased with people. But how do we do this when things are not so bright, right? For us and for people who have mistreated us. How do we show up when it ain't good? The answer is to remember the law. Remember that every word, thought, action, and energy that we emit is being multiplied and brought back to us. So, regardless of how things are going in this moment, regardless of how people are treating us, we are responsible for the next moment. And how we respond in this moment is setting up the next. Again, don't be so concerned about how people are acting in this moment or the circumstance of this moment. Your actions in this moment, what you're giving to the universe now, is bringing you something back multiplied tomorrow. And so, regardless of what the situation is, y'all, be good and do good because tomorrow's wins are counting on today's work. Here's also a note. This is not just about giving everything that you have away, living poor and having nothing. No, it's not what it's about. All right. This is actually about the science behind true abundance. People who live this way actually live great lives. All right. This is because our purpose is unique to us. And when we do it with great intention, right, we step into offering something that only we can, y'all. We have a monopoly on ourselves. That means nobody else can offer what we offer when we perfect it. That's our edge. That is our value, right? Now, be mindful when I'm talking about creating this thing, this thing that only you can offer, right? And our fingerprint proves this, right? Our fingerprint proves that no matter how many people are on the planet, we are an individual still, right? We're part of a community, but an individual still, and we can offer something very individual and powerful. You still need to note that the value we charge cannot be greater than the value we give. Note, the value we charge cannot be greater than the value we give. You have to give great value first. And so my suggestion is just give it away. But Yusha, I'm giving away free. Give it away. Nike gave me shoes for the day. He gave me an Apple Watch for the day, right? Yes, I had to give it back, but I definitely put some wear and tear on them. Give it away. Give away great value. Give it away until you become perfect at giving it. Give away great value until you become perfect at giving it, right? And then charge for it. Not only charge for it, add to the charge the time it took you to build the value. And I promise you, people will pay for it. They will. And they will pay for it because you would have already proven the worth in so many other ways. When I first started doing music professionally all in 2013, I wrote a song that really embodies the essence of what I'm talking about, right? It embodies the essence of my intention. And even though it's about music, it translates into everything I do. And I called it Underdog. But if I ever release it again or re-release it, I'm going to change the name to The Heart. And here it is. The other day, I had a conversation with two old heads sitting outside on the front stoop, chilling, talking about politics and religion and my music career. Like, what you going to do? They say, boy, we heard your music and we know you nice. But with that shit you talking about, you really think the label's going to want you? I say, I don't care, my dude. I don't care. I make music for the people. Let it do what it's going to do. I got to thinking, though, about the game and the major players in it. Like, what's going to be the strategy? Should I keep it 100 from the start, make music from the heart, or sell out and make you all mad at me? Old heads say it depends on what's selling, cuz. Because in the end, it's about them dollars. But Riga say that we make music for the most high. So when your lyrics put cures for our problems, Matter over money, I've chosen to weave something in the fabric of every pattern written. You'll see something. And if labels say this boy's too conscious, it won't sell. Fuck it. Give it to the people. I bet you it goes Braille. Yeah. I bet you it goes Braille. Even if I got to ship it myself, it's going to sell. And once the people get it, you'll see the labels hunting me. And they swear for God that they wanted me. And I remember this old lady, she looked me smack dead in the eye. She said, I can see your greatness. I believed her, but I hadn't learned patience. Instead of making it happen, I was sitting around waiting for some phone calls that never rang, some investments that never came. But I ain't want to get this thing up. She said, your daytime job is cool, but it's blocking your passion. You need to find a way to turn your dream up and give your daytime job a part-time mind and give your half-ass dream an all-out grind. She say, patience and waiting ain't the same, my son. Patience is how you win the game, my son. But waiting is how you stay lame, my son. If you don't move, you'll be stuck in the same outcomes. Plus, you got some bad habits that you need to give up. And to win, you got to be willing to change, my son. So, Lord, if I change, let me change for the better. Like I've done already. I think I've changed for the better. Let me focus on the people, not on new gold chains. Help me to become a boss without Hugo's name. Help me to create music that attracts the heart, that relates to the soul, gets attached to the brain. And if the labels try to ignore or box me out, I'm going to drop a bomb single and blow up with a bang. All right? The heart, right? This piece for me really, an early piece written in my career, really embodied the intention of why we was doing this work. And it can really be wrapped up in a few lines, right? It's the line that says, what the old heads say, it depends on what's selling, because in the end, it's about them dollars. But how do we follow up? Riga say that we made music for the Most High. So when your lyrics put cures for our problem, matter over money, right? Purpose over outcome, right? And why? Because truly following the purpose is what dictates the outcome. All right, enough talk, y'all. Let's get to our weekly challenge, right? So I'm done with the talk. Now for the challenge, y'all. Each week, I will initiate a challenge for us connected to the topic of today. It is important that we leave from the inspired thought to actually jump into producing some action, right? So growing up, I was always told that knowledge is power. But when I was in college, a man told me that applied knowledge is power. And so in that spirit, I want to be intentional with these lives to challenge myself and to give space to see if you want to challenge yourself, right? And so the challenge questions of this week is 4 questions. The first one is, what is your purpose? Number 2, what is your gifts? Number 3, how are you using your gifts to help others this week? And then 4, in what areas of your life or with whom could you be more gentle, considerate, and intentional? Again, what is your purpose? Number 1. Number 2, what is your gifts? Number 3, how are you using your gifts this week to help others? And then 4, in what areas of your life or with whom could you be more gentle, more considerate, more intentional? So my example, right? My purpose is to elevate myself, my family, and the condition of my people. My gifts are intuition, storytelling, healing, vision, and leadership. I've embedded my gifts into the use of speaking, teaching, coaching, training, and performing to meet my people where they are, reshape their beliefs and knowings about themselves so that they can grow. This week, through this live and other ways, I will be helping my daughter, you all listening, my What We All Needed brothers, and my loved ones to see the best in themselves, to be of good service, and to be of good cheer with the gentle touch of just being an example. My aim is to let my heart do the work and to only open my mouth for this live and when I'm asked. Meaning, my hope this week is that I can posture myself to not just teach, but to walk and to be an example of what it looks like to be of good cheer, to be of good care, um, and to be the best of myself. Now, I want to make another note for y'all. I want to make space here, right? The challenge of being more intentional, gentle, and considerate and supportive is that everyone doesn't know how to receive it. So revisit that, right? I want to make space here for this, right? The challenge of being more intentional, more gentle, more considerate, more supportive of others is that everyone doesn't know how to receive it, right? Some will push it away and push you away because they cannot trust that you show up for them without ulterior motives, right? Some will push it away because they don't feel that they have anything to give back, right? Feeling the spirit of reciprocity is like, man, don't give me anything because I don't have nothing to give back. On the other side, some will look to get more of it, right? It feels good to be cared for. It feels good to make eye contact and somebody to be attentive to you and listen to you. All right. It's addictive even. And we know that, right? Have you ever just like really just given your time and attention to someone, not because you wanted anything in return from them, but because you had joy to give? Or vice versa, right? Have you ever seen somebody who's just giving you that much time and space and you was like, well, maybe they're hitting on me, or maybe they like me, or maybe it's the other side, like what they want. Why they being so nice? I don't get it. Right. And so one of the pain points of living with great care is that it means you're going to be supporting people who aren't living with great care, right? It's going to be times when you're going to have to be gentle with the rough. You're going to have to be considerate of the selfish. You're going to offer your best to those who offer you their least. But my encouragement to you is don't let it taint your heart, right? Whether people push us away or pull us for more, we should respond the same. A great response for either of these extremes are Alhamdulillah, Hallelujah, or Ashe, right? Alhamdulillah, all praise be to Allah or God. Hallelujah is all praise be to God as well. Ashe. All of these words reverence the thought and belief and intention that all praise is due to God, right? And whether we are rejected or loved, as Riga would say, we did it for the Most High. We did it because we knew our promise was already wrapped up in God's creation. We did it because our promise was with God. And so the promises of our good hearts are in the universe and will be returned to us multiplied. So my encouragement to you is don't take such great offense if you can manage it, right? When people don't treat you like you treat them, don't take such great offense. Nor when people are super excited about what you give, don't be so enthused. Just be a present, joyful being, resonating love, right? Now, here's a point that I want to note, and I want to read what Latoya wrote. Here's a point that I want to wrote. Use your boundaries, y'all. Boundaries, because everybody's going to say, man, I can't give all that. People to take advantage of you. Okay, I get it. People can't really take advantage of you because you didn't give to get. You gave it because you had it, and you knew God was going to give it back to you. Use your boundaries as a way to refuel yourself, to connect with yourself, and to hear God. Again, use your boundaries as a way to refuel yourself, to connect with yourself, and to hear God, not as a means to punish or avoid people. Stop and look at my watch on that. Use your boundaries to refuel yourself, to connect with yourself, and to hear God, not as a way to punish or avoid people. Please note that every season the apple tree gives all of its apples, and whatever we don't eat, it drops it off. It gets rid. It rids itself of every piece of fruit that God has given it. And you know what happens the next year? God gives it more. You ain't going to run out. And when you do, go hear from God, go sit with God, go sit with yourself, go rebuild. And guess what? You're going to replenish you with more. You're going to come out with more to give, right? So here's some more resources that I want to connect you with. One is the 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. These 4 agreements are 4 agreements that you can make with yourself that will help you to live more with great care and in alignment with great care. Another book is The Divine Law of Compensation by Marianne Williamson. Of course, it sounds like, because they use the word compensation, it sounds like it's about money. And money is definitely connected to it, but it's really about love. It's about doing things from the right heart and the right spirit. And then also the poem If by Rudyard Kipling. If you can keep your head when all about you, is a really good poem and a really good tool that you can use to access how to live with great care. Now, let's get to our last segment for the day. This last segment is called Workin Winnin. If you can see, hear, smell, taste, and feel, then your body works. And if your body works, you have everything you need to win. All you need now is the how, right? So here's a 4-step process of how we can bring our dreams, plans, and intentional efforts into fruition. We will revisit these things weekly, but for this week, let's set new goals and intentions. So the 4 steps are: 1, vision and belief; 2, speech; 3, gratitude; 4, action. Again, 1, vision and belief; 2, speech; 3, gratitude, 4, action, right? Now, let me explain them separately and then make space for you all to process what they mean. So the first one, vision and belief, right? This is, what do you clearly see or believe that's possible for you this week? What do you clearly see or believe is possible for you this week, right? That's what we're starting at. Now, once we write that thing down, the second one, speech, says, how will you use the vibrant power of words to create for yourself, right? Life and death is in the power of the tongue. The law of vibration, that's what we're talking about, right? What we put out comes back. So that vibrational frequency that we speak out is creating and is bringing us something back multiplied. So once we think about what the thing that we want to clearly believe is possible for us this week, how can we speak over it? Third, gratitude. How will you lighten your spirit? How will I lighten my spirit, find joy, love, and peace so that I can be receptive to the things that the universe creates and returns to me? And then lastly, action. What will I do to move toward it? What is the work of this week connected to that belief, right? Faith without works is dead. So what works are connected to that belief? And then how will I attract my alignment and my purpose, right? So 1, what are you believing on this week? What do you desire to see happen? 2, what affirmation can you speak over it? 3, what are 3 things that you can be grateful for to lighten your spirit? 4, what are 3 things that you're going to do to follow up that belief with action? I believe, and I believe it'll come, I'll believe that I will get help from some direction that helps me redesign the workbook for each episode to be a true resource for people. Not that it isn't a resource now, but I believe that I will get help, some information, some tools, some AI tool, some resource that will easily help me improve the quality of the research, the workbook. And I want to speak over that by saying exactly what I said. I know that the work I'm doing is divine work, is the work I was sent to do. God will provide me with all of the resources, tools, and help that I need to improve the quality of this offering. I know that I'm being divinely guided and that I'm doing the work I was sent to do, and that God will provide me all of the resources, tools, and help to improve the quality of what I'm offering. 3 things I'm grateful for. I'm truly grateful for this app that I discovered today that helped me set up the automatic responses to y'all to be able to get y'all the workbook. I'm thankful for that app. I'm thankful for my child, who after a hard day of work, she came in the car after she worked. I picked her up. She came in the car with some joy and some good energy, and that lightened my spirit. And ultimately, man, I'm thankful for the group of brothers that I'm doing this music project with right now, and how they showed up last night to get this recording done. I'm thankful for that brotherhood and that collective work. All right, we got a new song dropping this Friday, y'all. Check it out. It's called Fear of Allah. We got a full project coming by the end of the month, but I'm thankful for that. So I'm thankful for the app. I'm thankful for my daughter's presence today, and I'm thankful for the brotherhood last night. What are 3 things that I'm going to do to move closer to accomplishing the vision for this week? One of the things that I'm doing is I'm letting it be known that I need some help, right? So I'm setting myself up for someone to send me a resource, an idea, a concept of how to make it better. I'm also going to look on Fiverr to see if there is someone who does workbook development, who can give me a template or tool that I can repeat and replay. And then 3, once I get that tool, God willing, you will get a workbook connected to next week's lesson that is beautiful, right? This one looks more like a worksheet. It's still a workbook, but it looks more like a worksheet. Next week, hopefully you will get a beautiful one, right? Aesthetically kind and pleasing. And then I'll go back and redo this one from this week with that same template so that we can have something else that's beautiful. Working and winning with great care. I say it all the time, the promise is coming and is here. And now you can understand why I say the promise is coming and is here, because it is within us, right? It is the promise that God gave us that whatever we give, He's going to give back to us. And so the promise of how we win, work and win in America as Black folks in America, as creatives in America, as leaders in America, right? The promise is when we do good work from the right heart and the right spirit with an expectance of good, right? And not from the people we give it to, because sometimes we will kill the good that we do for others by slandering their name because they can't return it, So we got to be mindful of that. When we give with great care, purpose, and intention, and within an expectation of multiplied good from God, right? Then we set ourselves up for the play, right? For most of you, you know that I speak. I'm a speaker, artist, speaker, motivational speaker, and master certified professional coach, right? So if this message spoke to you, imagine what could unlock or how it could unlock the hearts of those that we were in a live rooms, right? So whether it's for your school, organization, right? If you just want to have me speak at your event, I not only want to speak, but I want to leave an imprint. I want to move spirits, and I want to leave people looking forward to being ready to work and win. So if you would like to bring me to speak at your organization, you can comment on the post that I posted yesterday or on this live. You can comment on the post of this live. Just comment the word speak, right? SPEAK, nothing else. Just comment the word speak, and then I will DM you a follow-up. Now, for those of you who might need coaching services, right? If you are ready to live big, right, and start moving with clarity, conviction, and care, I got you, right? My one-on-one coaching programs are designed to get you in alignment, help you improve your leadership, and then have the daily habits that are going to lead you to your higher purpose, right? So for coaching options with me, you can take the first step by posting in the comments on this live the word coach. Just post the word coach, and then I will follow up with you in your DMs on instructions about how we can connect. But ultimately, guys, the promise is coming and it's here. Live with great care, work and win with great care, right? Winning because you're alive, working because you're helping somebody else. And then if you do that work with great care, we're going to set ourselves up to get the promise that was promised to us. So the promise is here and it's coming. And I know for sure you're going to get yours. I'm Yusha Assad, speaker, artist, master certified professional coach. And I love you. And we're going to be here, right, every week doing this good work. So see y'all soon. Peace.
Greatest things don't happen overnight. They take time and patience. So instead of waiting, struggle and be patient, 'cause greatness has been prepared for you.